Anti-government groups are back on the streets of Bangkok as Thailand marks Constitution Day. They are rallying against the country's strict royal defamation laws known as lese majeste. The law has not been used in recent years at the request of the king, but it's been recently revived. More than 20 protest leaders are now facing lese majeste charges for insulting the monarchy. May Wong joins us live from Bangkok for more on this story. And May, the situation on the ground, is it getting tense?
Well, at this moment, you see that a lot of the street vendors are slowly clearing out because the protest has just officially ended. But just a while ago, there was a group of police officers, about 10 of them, walking down the street, trying to speak to the protest leaders to ask them to disperse because they are over the time limit, and also to clear out the road in order to allow traffic to resume once again. And so when they did that, well, a lot of the protesters came rushing and almost chasing after the police officers, calling out to them in Thai to say "อกไป," meaning get out, get out. Because as you know, the situation is extremely tense, especially when police have actually used force against them in previous assemblies, such as firing water cannons as well as tear gas at protesters. So obviously when the protesters saw a group of police officers coming up here, they were also getting very agitated and also very excited to see what is going on, and trying to also somewhat provide security as well as protection for the protest leaders. But later on, they chased the police officers for about 100 to 200 meters down before the actual protest leaders pushed the people back to say, please let the officers leave peacefully and they will also disperse on their own, and which they have done so. So this goes to show that both sides are exercising restraint, and also they don't want to see any violent clashes from all of this, simply because they're here to just make their voices heard in terms of getting their opinions on reforms of the country, to make sure that the government hears the citizens. So that's pretty much it at the moment, and we're seeing that the situation has remained calm at this stage.
Remind us, May, why the protesters are calling for a repeal of the lese majeste law.
This seems to be the focus for Thursday, especially when we are talking about lese majeste law in Thailand. This has got to be the harshest law in this country and almost around the world, given the fact that it imprisons a person facing that charge for up to 15 years. And also one person can actually face multiple lese majeste charges. So you can just imagine the severity of that. And not just that, but there are two problems with this lese majeste law, which the protest leaders highlighted earlier. One is the fact that anybody and everybody can actually file charges, and so you don't need the victim to actually file a lese majeste charge because he or she was defamed. And yet another is that such cases are often heard behind closed doors, and nobody really knows the exact proceedings and also what goes on in the courtroom. That's the reason why the citizens are extremely interested to get this law repealed, and they want it to be repealed right now. In fact, one of the protest leaders also mentioned earlier that in just 1 month alone, more than 25 protest leaders are already facing such lese majeste charges, and also some of them are seeing even more than one. One of them actually has got 7 lese majeste charges already leveled against him. In fact, one of the protest leaders also highlighted that the youngest person to potentially face this is a 16-year-old student. And so a lot of the people have come out today, focused particularly on this subject, asking the government to repeal this law and to repeal it right now. In fact, they have also approached the United Nations headquarters earlier to send in a letter to ask the United Nations for help. Remember, today is also International Human Rights Day. That's the reason why the protesters have also come out to remind the government as well as the United Nations and all of the people who are involved in this to be cognizant of the fact that there needs to be practices of human rights here in this country. At this stage, after more than 5 months of protesting in Thailand, at least 25 protest leaders are already facing the charges, and you can expect as assemblies continue, more charges will be leveled against them. They say that this law is not just archaic, it's outdated, and also it's way too harsh because they can use regular defamation laws that are seen around the world to prosecute anyone who is going to insult the particular person or a victim. but you don't have to send anyone to jail for that because you can just sue a person for damages. In this country, remember, the monarchy is of the highest level here, and a lot of people revere it. But now that institution is being broken down because the citizens are calling for reform. In addition to reform to the monarchy, they're also demanding for Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to quit and also a change of the constitution in this country. They continue to make their demands, and they will carry on to have such assemblies going down the road. Already the protest leaders say they are fearless, even though they are facing lese majeste charges, which could see them go to jail for a very long time. They say that they've already come out and laid their life on the line, and they just want to see the country change before they are satisfied with the outcome.
May Wong in Bangkok, thank you.